Hey, Tanya, can you hear me now by chance? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can see you and hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tanya, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, and you weren't sharing the screen, so that's why. It was just like on, but not shared.
Wait, what'd you do?
I went up to share screen. It just looked like you had it. I mean, did you click that? And it showed like this? Okay, well, maybe it was. Okay, great. Thanks, Tanya. All right, we're starting back up here. All right, friends.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for confirming, Tanya. We're switching over to opportunities. So just hang tight. We'll be starting that in 1 minute here. Just waiting for everyone to return. Appreciate your patience. Oh, never mind. I think I found it.
Right.
Something comes and asks me that my friend, she does meet somebody in my list.
Oh.
Because if you're there, you're supposed to pass it on to you. Or if they specifically say they call the front desk and they say, I'm calling about 12235 Stockbridge Drive. And if the agent's in the office, I don't know, how do they do that with phone duties? If the agent's in the office, do they try to contact the agent, somebody calls in on their?
They do. Someone asks about it, but then you could be on call duty. So if someone calls in just asking about a listing, then you would be the one that gets that listing.
But then too, if somebody calls and states my listing and I'm at the beach. And I say, well, I can't show it to them, or that the seller doesn't allow the agency. You would want whoever answers the phone or someone that you're friends with to meet them. Because in that way you can represent them as the buyer.
Is that common now? The one dual agents?
In a seller's market, I don't think the buyer's fine, because a lot of stuff we do is off market, especially in this big of a company. It's word of mouth, and it's office exclusive listings that are just available to us in here. So you would have to have a designated dual agent in the office to work for you, because every Keller Williams franchise is separate. So even though it's a Keller Williams South Park office, it's not like an Allen Tate. It was designated dual agency with every single office, because it was one company, it wasn't a franchise.
Right, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have a question. On my.
No, folks ask all the questions.
On my website.
Yes.
Can I,
All of those, I'll answer for you.
if there's homes out there unlisted, listed with other agents.
They're gonna come up in your search.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, can I move those over onto my page?
To be featured listings or just searchable sites?
Searchable.
Yeah, all listings across the entire country under any brokerage are searchable on your site. You can set some as featured listings on the homepage too.
But they have to be all listings.
Yeah, or you can get
Valentine's, not any company.
right. And I believe still like the one I've asked for.
You have to have permission to co-market.
Because I was able to do all of it, I just wasn't sure if that was.
Right, yeah. That's like I would just get their like thumbs up to ask that question for those of you online listening, and the question was, can you feature other agents' listings on your website, and do other agents' listings show up on your website? The answer is that all listings across the entire US and any brokerage are searchable on your site, and then you can feature listings on your site as well. If those are other agents' listings, you'll just want to get their approval. If you need any steps on how to feature listings, feel free to shoot us an email. It's contact@juleahdesigns.com. It's contact@JULEAH designs with an S.com. All right, you guys want to jump into opportunities? Thank you. Go on.
Oh, we're still talking.
Okay, go for it.
I have to leave at 2:30, so are we gonna be in a place like in 15 minutes that I can leave without disturbing?
Yeah, it'll be totally fine.
I'm asking permission.
Yeah, of course. You can do anything.
I'm
you
gonna
want.
teach us pet today.
So opportunities is really cool in KW Command. So that's what we're going to dive into a bit here. And this is your transaction management side of KW Command. So where we are in KW Command, so you can follow along, is on the left-hand side toolbar. We're clicking on the handshake icon, like a handshake, like a deal, right? So that'll show you your pipelines in Command. I'm going to switch to my account. So your pipelines in Command, so I'm going to switch to my account, but as you can see, it's a very visual tool, which is great.
Bring it back.
So the pipelines, yeah, they give you a great visual tool to be able to see, okay, how many transactions do I have in each phase of the transaction? So I have cultivate phase, right? The first one, growing the relationship. We have appointment, active, under contract, and then our favorite closed. And then you can see we have a different pipeline for each listing, buyer, and leases. Now, when I say it's a great visual tool, that really allows me to see, okay, how many transactions do I have in that cultivate phase? And what they mean by cultivate is like growing the relationship, like that cute little plant there. So if I have 30 transactions that I'm trying to cultivate, that gives me a great hint that I probably need to pay attention to those transactions to do some action items to move them down the pipeline. And you can actually create custom checklists in the opportunities for each stage of the transaction. And I have templates for you guys that you can utilize. You can add the checklist in, and it will automatically remind you of those action items as you pull the transaction down the pipeline.
So are those calls to action for things that you need to do or forms for DocuSign?
So those will be things you need to do. So kind of to give you an idea what those opportunity checklist looks like. So this is not the paperwork that you're submitting. This is actually something separate. This gives you action items like if it goes live. Okay, what action items do I need to do when it goes active? Fill out the lockbox, the sign out, make it active in the MLS, right? So it can help you stay on track with all the million things you need to do for a listing. But at the same time, what's cool is you can set up client auto update emails so that when you check off certain items, it automatically notifies your client that you completed those items. So they stay up to date on the transaction without having email back and forth. And also you're showing how much value you're adding to their transaction, which I think is cool. Yes.
So when you go, so my buyer, I was just showing Gerard, I have my buyer, so I'm getting ready to load their contract. So when I load their stuff in there, if I have a checklist for my active or under contract clients, would that automatically generate my next steps? Can I make it where it automatically generates my next steps email?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And this is not, I mean, you can add paperwork to the, but it's not as much for paperwork. These are reminders for you and for your client.
Well, I'm just saying though, it was, one of the things would be, we send the next steps email with the introduction of overview of going under contract.
Right.
Can you customize that email?
Not too much. I'll show you what it looks like so you
Okay.
can see. It really just shows a checklist of those items. So let's dive into that. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you this. So I'll show you a preview and then I'll show you how to execute. And we'll start with these client updates since I do think this is really valuable. And we'll go deeper into items. So in this opportunity section, so you can click on any one of these opportunity phases to go ahead and open that up. So let's say I go into the active one. Yes, and I can show you that. That's typically what I would do first. Do you want to see how to create an opportunity?
I should.
Good. Of the game. Okay. So if you have not created an opportunity quite yet, okay, the opportunity is just from the opportunity icon on the left-hand side. There's an option to click create opportunity on the top right here. Create opportunity, and that will allow you to go ahead and create that. So when you say creating an opportunity, that's really just a cute name for a transaction. Anytime you have an opportunity for a sale, you want to go ahead and put this in here. So once you have that opportunity created, if you have any questions about how that looks, please let me know. I can send you a video on that as well. But Tanya Online, feel free to drop any questions on how that would look, and I'm happy to answer those. But once we create our opportunity, that'll put it right on your pipeline. And the bottom question here is asking you, where do you want this opportunity? Do you want it on your listing pipeline in the first phase, right? Is this already an active transaction? Are you under appointment? So it does give you the ability to put it where you want it to be when you're setting up the opportunity. But once you've created the opportunity, right, I'll go ahead and go into one of my opportunities, let's say in the active stage phase. All right, so from here, all right, let's talk about setting up those client update emails. So let me first show you what it looks like to give you a preview of that. So I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to turn it on. Where is it again that shows you that, JuLeah? Is it when you're checking things off, the preview of it? Settings? Sorry, guys. Good old Owen Wilson. Client updates, here it is. All right, this is what it looks like. And I'll show you how to do this next. I'm going to show you what it looks like first. So when you check off items on that checklist, the next 24 hours, it will send something like this, and it'll have all your information. So your logo, your headshot and information. If it's a listing opportunity that you have the listing link to, it'll show the house, the address, and then you can see the checklist items. These are all the items that you've done in the last 24 hours. And you can select, like, I'll show you this. When you're actually setting it up, the checklist, you can select, okay, is this something I want my client to be notified about, or is this just for me? So you can only notify them for things that you want them to be notified about. So now that you see, so this is not super customizable. Okay, this is kind of what it is here. But now I'll show you how to go ahead and activate these. So I'll go.
Pull a picture of a house or their house?
Their house, as long as it's a listing opportunity and you have that listing linked. So I'm in the opportunity right here, right? And as long as it's a listing opportunity, they'll have the option to click select from listings at the top. Only a listing opportunity. And that will allow them to link up your listing as long as it's live in the MLS. You know, just to show you what that looks like. It would look something like this with all your listings. So you can go ahead and select that, and it pulls in all the pictures and the address and all the property information. So that's how it knows to put the picture on it that way, which makes it very customizable. All right, so let me now show you how to set up this feature. Okay, so setting up auto updates for your clients during the course of a transaction. Okay, so I'm going to start this, if you want to follow along, by clicking on the handshake icon on the left-hand side for opportunities. And we're going to first take a look at the settings for this. So you can determine what time you want this sent out. You do need to turn this on. So again, opportunities on the left-hand side, that handshake icon, and then we're clicking the settings gear on the top right. And that'll take you to the opportunity settings. Okay.
I mean, do you have to confirm it before you send it? What do you do? I mean, can you mess it up and send something to the wrong person?
No,
That would be my law.
yeah, right.
Your house is ugly. No.
Yeah, right. It'll only send to people in the opportunity, and it does make you turn it on for each individual transaction. So we're going to turn it on here, but just because it's turned on here, you still have to go into each individual transaction, so you can't accidentally send things, or to discourage it at least. So to show you how that looks, so this is the opportunity settings. If anyone needs to see this again, of course, jump up anytime. So if you're on a team, you may see an option for a team tab here. okay, and your personal. So what this is doing here is we are determining at what time do we want these to send out. So let's say I want it to go out at 11 a.m. I want it to send from the owner. And Tanya, if you don't mind letting me know if you're on a team or not, just so I don't explain team things, because you guys are not.
No, I'm not.
All right, so from here, send from the owner. So it's talking about the opportunity owner. So that would send from you, obviously. And then it would say send to the client and the co-client, and you also get a copy. So when it says send to owner, that's talking about you, the opportunity owner, not the property owner, which I always find slightly confusing. So this is all you need to do in here.
The bottom one you said is the agent.
Yes.
Because you're the owner operator.
Yeah, of the opportunity or of the transaction. But I do find that verbiage. I agree. I always think owner of the property. All right, so now that we turned on those settings, I'm going back to opportunities. And in case you guys lost how I did that, that was just from the opportunities handshake and that settings gear. So you can go back there anytime to update any of that. It's pretty standard info there. But now let's talk about implementing that. Okay, so I'm back to the opportunities icon on the left-hand side. And the first thing I need to do is kind of set up those checklists. You know, what do I want them to be notified about? And I do have templates that I can share with you. So, you know, if after class, I'll put it on the Facebook page too, if you want to comment there, or if you want to shoot me an email, I'll send you these checklist templates. But the idea is, so let me show you how you would go about adding them. So simply open up any phase of your opportunity pipeline, and we're going to click edit stages on the top right, which really lets you customize your pipelines completely, which I love. So, you know, if some of this doesn't make sense for your business, you can edit the stages to really put in, you know, what are the stages as they go through an active transaction. So you do have the ability to update, you know, these pencil icons on the right-hand side will allow you to edit the stage name. However, where I want to bring your attention is these checklists. Okay, so these are the checklists that we can automatically add in. So let's say I click on that number. So you click on the number of checklist items to pull that up. All right, and this is what it looks like. So this is how we go in and add checklist items. So there's none in there off default. You would have to add them. I do have examples of what you can add for each one. But let's say if this is going live, okay, adding a sign to the yard, put out the lockbox, put on the KWLS. Let's say add to make live on MLS, whatever the case may be. I can go ahead and add those in. I can reorder them. Okay, but where the client update comes in, if you want your client to receive an update on that item, right? Because I mentioned some of these checklist items are maybe for you, some are for your client. So if they are for your client that you want them to get notified, I probably want them to know when I added the sign to the yard, maybe when I put out the lockbox and go live and set an open house, let's say, okay? So any items that I would want my client to be updated about, you can see I click the checkbox on the right-hand side, and then you can see that envelope icon display. That'll be a quick reminder to you that these are the items that have client updates, that it would send an email notification the next 24 hours about everything you completed that day.
In one email?
Exactly, yeah. So every 24 hours, it'll send, like, you checked off 3 things the next day at 11 a.m. Whatever you set, it'll send them one email with those 3 items that you did. So I can click on save. Right. So there's one final step now after setting this up. And I did actually just create a YouTube video on this yesterday. So if you need, you know, step-by-step instructions to do this, I have it as well. So you can pause it and follow along. Of course, we can help you. But now in order to actually activate that for a transaction, okay? So I'm going to go back to my pipeline again. I just keep going back to the opportunity pipeline on the left-hand side, right, that handshake icon. To come back here, because now I'm going to turn on that feature for one of my opportunities, one of my transactions. So let's say, right, I only want one of, you know, my transactions to receive these. So you can see real quick here, and I'll show you another one. I have lots of them on, right? You can see where it says client updates off, client update off, client update on, right? So you can see really quick visually which ones have it on or off. It's super easy to turn them on. So all you'll do is come in here. So anywhere that you see client update off, just simply click on the name of the opportunity. Then you'll see the client updates option up here, right? Client updates off. So select this and you just need to turn it on for this transaction specifically. And any settings that you put in here will override the first settings that we looked at. So, you know, you can, if you don't want it to go out at your standard 11 a.m. time, set it to noon here, right? Who you want to send it to. So that's showing you all of the contacts associated to this opportunity. So both my clients. You can even add someone. So if it's a younger couple, let's say that wants their parent to receive a reminder, or the mortgage provider, you can add the contact so that they see it as well, and then click Save Changes.
The drop down boxes on the email part, what else is can you select?
Good question. Nothing. It doesn't let me add anything. But I'm thinking, oh, I know the answer. If they have multiple email addresses in their contact records, then you can select if you want the primary email to receive it or the secondary email. Questions on client updates. I know that's just like one feature of opportunities. I really like this feature.
So you can add an update.
Yeah, yeah. And if you feel like I don't know what to put in there, let me know. I do have templates like suggestions of those checklists. I find that's really helpful even to keep me on track, or if newer agents, you know, are trying to, what do you do when you go under contract? You know, set up checklists, keep you on track. Especially when you have 5 different transactions going, it's nice to see in one spot all the things you need to do for each transaction.
How would we get those templates?
I'll send it to you. Yep, gotcha. Yep. Yeah, and I can show you too how to copy and paste it in. It's, you know, I would say it would take like 20 minutes to do it, but then once you do it one time, it's in there forever. You know? So yeah, we can meet anytime and we can go ahead and implement this. Any other questions on this feature? All right. So let's go through a couple of the other opportunity features here. I do want to also prioritize. We're going to talk about adding an offer to your opportunity and creating a commission request, and also setting up an offer comparison, which is really cool. So if you get like 15 offers on a property, you get like 10, 15 offers, whatever the case may be, multiple offer situation, you can actually set up an offer comparison in your opportunity to send your client like a PDF of all of the offer details that look really nice. So I'll show you that as well. So where I'd like to do that in. So I am in the opportunity. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, you can go into any opportunity that you would like to follow along for the rest of class here. So pull open any opportunity on your pipeline. You do so by simply clicking on the pipeline and then click on the opportunity name to open that up. And if you have questions on getting there, please let me know. All right, so we're in the opportunity. I simply clicked on the opportunity name to open that up, and that'll take you right to the opportunity details. So just to explain what you're seeing here, these details will automatically autofill into DocuSign or .loop. Primarily use DocuSign. This also gives you the ability right here, just to point that out, you can click the opportunity as lost. If you do lose that opportunity, you can move that toggle over on the top right there to mark that as lost. So coming on over, this is the detail section. So again, primarily autofills into DocuSign. But let's come on over. So I'm going along this white toolbar here and going over to the Documents tab. Okay. And your screen might not look like mine, and that's totally fine. So in this Documents tab, this is where you're going to be accessing DocuSign or .loop, whichever you use. So let's say DocuSign mainly. So in this Documents tab, that's where you'll come to actually click on Start a Transaction to start your DocuSign room. I realize it says go to transaction now, because after you start that transaction, it does change the verbiage to go to transaction. But this is where you'll want to be creating your rooms. Really, really important that in order to create your DocuSign room, you're not going straight to DocuSign. You're going to your opportunity and clicking Start a Transaction to start that DocuSign room. And of course, hit me with questions as you have them. I know some of this is a little vague, so I would love to hear your questions. On the left-hand side, so let's talk about how you enter in your compliance paperwork so you can get paid, right? Because in order to get your paycheck, you do have to be in compliance with your signed paperwork, and the office checks over compliance. So how that works, how you can actually see a live checklist of your required items, depending on if you haven't checked or selected a checklist quite yet, on the left-hand side, it'll probably say something like select checklist, or it'll say one of the checklist names. And you can go ahead and select a checklist, and these are created by your Market Center staff. So they do come in here, and let's say it's a North Carolina listing or sale. So in this case, it'll show me, okay, which forms are required. Right, you'll notice ones that are required or conditional meaning, right, only certain transactions would require it. But all the ones marked red for the required means you do have to add that in order to get your paycheck. Yeah, the sign out signed paperwork. So, and you can add your signed paperwork in either manually, you can upload it or bring that over from DocuSign. So to show you that, first of all, on the left-hand side, you will see like listed, under contract, and closed, different checklists for your paperwork. And in order to pull that right on over, and this is probably gonna be something you just need to watch on my screen for now, but you can up here where it says attach files from, you do have the option to select my computer or DocuSign if you started the DocuSign room from your opportunity. So for example, if you are printing your paperwork, bringing it to your appointment, having them hand sign it, totally fine. You can scan it to your computer and you can manually update that signed paperwork here. Okay, if instead you're using DocuSign to get your paperwork signed, that's great. You can actually also pull in your paperwork right over from DocuSign. So you can select either one where it says attach files from, either my computer or DocuSign. You do select DocuSign, everything's grayed out until you select Room Docs, just not to confuse you guys. But this Room Docs here, once I select that, you'll see that. So now in these drop downs here, it's showing me all the signed paperwork or PDFs that I have in this specific DocuSign room. So I can pull that right over. And I know that, right, this is seeing it without the actual DocuSign part. So if you have questions on this, shoot me an email. I'd be happy to walk you through it and create a video for you. Any questions on adding your paperwork in? You guys feel okay on that? Way to go. Yeah, that's a whole different story. Yeah. And right, you receive nice little love notes when you're out of compliance. Yeah. So yeah, you will receive email notifications and in the bell icon if you have compliance reminders from your staff. So keep an eye out for that. You will want to submit to Market Center on the top right. So make sure you're submitting your file for review. They don't look at it otherwise. If you have questions, let me know. Well, let's get to the exciting part. What do we do when we're under contract? Okay, so that's the question I'm going to address now. What are the steps when I go under contract? So first of all, you'd want to add in your contract documents. I'll start here again, actually. So under documents, like when you go under contract, you'll see the under contract option on the left-hand side. And you'll want to add in your signed contract paperwork, okay? Everything associated with the contract. And they only want fully executed, so signed by all parties. Okay, so once you go under contract, within 3 days, they want you to submit your contract file for compliance. That's the goal. But then there's an extra step when you go under contract, and that's adding in an offer to your opportunity. So you need to add an offer and submit your commission request to the office so that they can pay you. So the commission request is telling you, is telling the office, okay, is the agent getting all of that commission? Are you splitting it 50-50? Are you paying an outside referral fee? So I'm going to show you how you can add the offer. I'll also be able to show you how you can do that offer comparison in a multiple offer situation. Like that's the one to send a PDF to your clients with all the offer details. And I'll show you a commission request, and then we'll be able to wrap up after that. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm in the offers and commissions tab. If I lost anyone, just let me know. I'm clicking add new offer on the top right. So you can name this offer. So, if it's I usually like to put in like the buyer's name on the other side, like if I'm representing the listing. So you could put in, Smith as the buyer's name, click create offer. Only you really see this, I think, I'll confirm. So whatever you want to name that, and we'll click create offer. And they'll just walk you through a few details here. And this is just information you would get from the offer itself. All right, and everything that you're putting in here will go onto the commission request. So it goes towards you getting paid. So it makes it feel better putting in this information. But right here, we'll put in the offer date and the close date. So let's say I got this offer yesterday. And we are closing May 3rd. So you can see it gives you that nice little calendar. So you can select that from here. And we're really just going on and clicking next. So the parties option, you can see it's taking us down this pipeline at the top here. And now just keep in mind whenever you're filling this out, like, whoa, that looks like a lot of fields. It's overwhelming. You really just have to fill out the fields that have this red asterisk next to it. So always look out for that in command. So really we just need the name. So seller name, the associate's name that's representing them, an email, and same on the buyer. And you need the agent on the other side as well. It's really all you need here. So just look out for those red stars and click next again.
Now you're doing this as practice, this isn't live. So I can do this too.
Yeah, exactly. You can really do anything in command, not make it live, so you can practice as well. And just shoot me an email if you feel uncertain. But yeah, like Patrick was saying, just adding yourself is huge. I just love receiving it and seeing what it looks like before, sending it to everyone I've ever talked to. So yeah, and I can click on next here. So you can see where we are in the pipeline, almost done. So this is where we're putting in the terms, and this kind of stuff is visible for the client. So when we set up the offer comparison that I'm going to show you, they'll be able to see cleanly, like on an Excel spreadsheet kind of view. Okay, what is the cash amount, the finance amount, and how does that compare to the other offers that they're getting? So let's say they're paying 100,000 cash, financing 300,000. So that'll be the sales price. Say earnest money. Well, these days, who knows? So let's say 1%, right? So you can put in the earnest amount, option fee, let's say termination notice, all of these items. And again, this would come from the offer itself, right? So let's say they're contributing $1,000. Okay, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and put that in. And we'll go next. This is the final one. So agent analysis, this is where you're putting in your analysis. And again, this shows up in the offer comparison. So if I'm saying like for your clients to see, so let's say pros, large cash contribution, cons, let's say it's contingent. You can even put a summary about what you think about it and click save. Okay, so that's putting in the offer. So now let me show you first how to set up that offer comparison I keep talking about, and then I'll show you how to submit a commission request to wrap up class. So not to lose anyone, I'm just going to switch opportunities because I have another practice one for this. So hang tight. Okay, so let's say that you have a multiple offer situation. So you have 5 offers come in for a property. What you would do is you'd go through and add in those offers individually. So the steps I just did for each one of those offers, okay, is the idea. So then as you're seeing that here, this is what this looks like. I have my 5 offers. So now I want to go ahead and compare the offers. I want to create an easy sheet for my client to be able to see all the offer details. I'm looking at that 10, 13-page document is really overwhelming for clients. So this really lays it out in a way that they can understand. So first of all, you can check the different offers that you want to include, whether that's all of them or just a few. And then you'll have the option to compare offers on the top right. And look how pretty it is in comparison to handing them a 13-page offer that says, okay, which one do you want? Right? This gives them such an easy way to analyze the differences in each of the contracts, the things that matter, including like your pros and cons and input there as well. So once you have this, you can do one of 2 things. You can email the offer straight from here, offer comparison straight from here, or you can download it to a PDF and bring it with you on your appointment. What questions do we have on that? Do we like this? The only thing I've seen that gets, this is why this offer is down further, right? Because this is a separate one. So I think it would just start a whole nother row to do that on. So I haven't seen an offer, an element. Any other questions? I think that's a cool feature, especially in this market with multiple offers. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to show you the final thing we'll cover today is doing a commission request. So that will be done when you're under contract. So you cannot get paid until you do a commission request. All right, and what the commission request is again, essentially just telling the office how you're getting paid. Like it's telling Lynn Davis, our MTA, how is she distributing the money, right? All to you, to 2 different agents, outside referral, so forth. So what we do, all right, is once we, let me change the response. Once you have your offers in here, you'll see it'll give you the option to accept or reject them. So if once you accept the one that's actually going through, so let's say this is the one getting accepted, I'll go ahead and click that. And it'll switch to give me the option to manage the commission for that offer. Okay, and that's talking about the commission request. So if I click on that, this is something that you'll have to do every single time that you go under contract. Okay, so this is what the commission request looks like. So at the top, general info, this is just all the information that you already put in, right? You put in the contract date, close date, and so forth while we put in the offer. So as we scroll down though, this is where things get more interesting. Okay, so first of all, where it has this payment here, you should see your name. You'll see your gross commission, how much you are getting as well. And it'll show you a breakdown of that. So if this is my gross commission, this is how much I'm getting net. This will show you, okay, where is, that money going? If you haven't capped, it'll show you paying associate royalty and company dollar right from here. Just a heads up, none of this is editable. So if something looks incorrect, first of all, it's 30 days behind. But whenever Lynn Davis cuts your check, that's all in real time with the accounting system. So don't really worry about this too much. If anything looks incorrect for your company dollar, you can simply add a note right here. But again, that pulls in real time from the KW accounting system. But this gives you kind of an idea of, okay, what kind of company dollar am I paying, associate royalty? Do I need to add a referral, split this with another agent? So let me show you that real quick. What's the situation? Do you guys often pay referrals or split with other agents internally? Would you like to see either of those features? Okay, so if you do need to add a referral to that, so what we'll do, so this is all automatically generated, and I can edit the agent payment right here next to my name to go ahead and add in an outside referral. So this does show you just all the money again that's going towards your associate royalty, company dollar. You can contribute to KW Cares if that's something that you do. So if you want to put in, $10 towards KW Cares, you can do that from here. And under extra payments, you'll see that's where we put in our deductions, referrals, etc. So I put an add item here. The main thing I see being used here is referrals. So for outside referral. So that's, of course, if an agent in Michigan referred you to clients down in North Carolina, you're paying them the referral fee. This is prompting Lynn Davis. So when she cuts her commission check, she's going to send it to that referral agent automatically and then give you your remaining commission. So, it'll prompt for things like the referral percentage, amount, their tax ID, and so forth. So you can add that in. Are you guys feel okay on that? Yeah. Great, awesome. And then if you do want to split it with another agent in the office, do you ever do that? No. So no. Okay, great. Well, just to show you the last thing, if you do ever need to split it, let's say you're working with an agent, let's say you're helping an agent with their listing, right? And splitting the transaction 50-50 so you can get your feet wet. So you can split the transaction amount to another agent in the office. And how you would do that is I'll click on edit agent payment again on the top. And the only catch with this is the agent unit up here. So what that's talking about, so when it says one, that's talking about one home, right? One transaction. So that's always what it is, always one unit. However, if you're splitting the transaction with another agent, let's say 50-50, you would put in 0.5 for the unit. So you as the agent are receiving half of that unit. So if it's 75-25 split, you would put in 0.75 here, let's say. And you can click Save Changes. So that is the important part to do first. to allow the system to add another agent to get the other remaining 50%. So that's where we'll come up to add another agent. And as you're going through this, guys, I'm happy to help you when the time comes, so you don't have to remember all this. But I'm clicking on add another agent up here, and we'll put in the agent's name that I'm splitting this with. It automatically puts in the remaining unit number. I can calculate that commission. And then, you can put in other information here, but really that's all you need is their unit number and calculating their commission. So once you click save changes, you'll see both agents up here. So you'll see yourself. And if you scroll down, you'll see the other agent and you'll see the 50-50 split and the unit number here. And then lastly, you'll see on the right-hand side, a summary of everything that you went over. So a summary on the right-hand side, and you can click submit right here to actually submit that over to your office leadership. Questions on that? All right, great. Yeah, if there's anything as you're going through this, and you have a real transaction, let me know. I'm happy to help you with DocuSign. DocuSign opportunities are my specialty, so I got you if you need me. You know where my email is, you know where my office is. Come hunt me down. Same for you, Tanya. If you need anything, just let us know. And I will drop the those Excel spreadsheets for the templates. I'll shoot you an email. I'll get you an email as well. Tanya, if you don't mind shooting me an email at contact@JuLeah, I'll put it in the chat. It'll allow me to send you the checklist that'll allow you to add it into the opportunity. I'm happy to help you with that as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so I'm sticking around for questions if you guys have any about the system in general, but other than that, outside of the technology, yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, as you start to get more transactions and all that fun stuff, we're here. Wings, all right, yeah. I like it. Next class. Great, let's bring wings and beer and we'll just like talk about technology, right?
So you guys both share the same.
We do, yeah, we have the same email. It just goes to both our email. So you can put that there. We'll go see it and be able to help you. Yeah, if you want to come by anytime, we can do a one-on-one and take you through what helps with your business, all that fun stuff.
I'll tell you, when I get home, I'm gonna send you that.
Please do, yeah, great.
That's really, now watch, when I get home, it's like.
They probably just updated it too massively.
You guys have time, the YouTube channel, they even had it.
Right. If you ever watch the Scott Lorimer videos, that sounds like our voice.
There's a lot of.
We used to work there, Joe and I, so you hear our voice. It sounds the same. So you have not joined PW yet, or you did?
No, I haven't.
Okay, great.
So this is my first day here.
Gotcha.
I'm doing my 301 course. My first license,
Right.
301, 2, and 3.
Nice.
So I had it last week, I've got it this week. I got my test next week.
Is that to take away the PB status? Or
Yeah,
your
yeah.
people broker after that?
Then I'm gonna take 302 and 3.
Awesome.
I didn't think there
There
was
was
a
a while, I didn't have to.
Okay, then I'm
During
gonna
the
COVID.
COVID, during COVID, they waived that.
Oh.
Really?
That final exam. They just-
For post licensing,
Post licensing, yeah.
and obviously pre-licensing,
Yeah,
or like a test.
no waiving that.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
So you took 301, 2, and 3, and that you didn't have to take it. Yeah, there's a test. And if you fail that test, you've got 20 days to take it.
And what happens if you fail?
I think just like on the license, you fail it once, you have 20 days to do it again. If not, you know,
Right, like, can't you only fail like twice or something?
I guess not, because you didn't take.
Yeah, right. Get it right. That's a pain, you just.
I've never heard of anybody getting shot.
It'll be a first for everything.
Now, the Southern Carolina ones, ooh, they do shoot you.
Yeah, right. No, when my mom got licensed, it was what is it called when she just got her South Carolina license? Yeah, well, she so she got a North Carolina license, and just automatically got her South Carolina.
Oh, wow. How long ago was that?
Not so much anymore, that one. There's a lot of differences.
Is there, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, there is.
So
I failed it
if
the
you,
first
if you have the North Carolina, you still have to take a course and everything for South Carolina?
time. I self-studied for some, but I didn't self-study the first. Second time.
How many times can you take?
In the house.
How much does it cost?
It costs the same every time. but I don't know.
Your answer's killing me. They cost the same. Such great thing.
I don't know what it is. It's a lot.
Well, here it's a buck 50 each time. So even if, so you have national and state, you pass one, you gotta take the other, it's still one.
Wow, that's, yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah,
On South Carolina, there's no DPS or, yeah, right, or what is there now?
What?
Is due diligence fee in South Carolina as well, or?
I don't know.
Earnest money?
I think there is. I haven't sold anything in South Carolina yet, so, I don't bother learning it.
Amen, amen.
Because I'm gonna forget it.
Right,
You
right.
know?
If you don't apply it right after, too,
Right.
it's hard to remember it. Like learning something for a test.
Yeah.
Right out. You don't really remember that. I didn't do that so much in college, learn it for the test, but
Yeah. I'm on your schedule for tomorrow.
great, yay, look forward to it. Kids will die down.
Yeah. I've been doing the market.
Is it the 12:30 or 1:30?
Yeah, 12 to 2 every day, we have open tech hours, so, yeah, what we're doing is kind of meeting with agents, getting an idea of their current business, and then creating a marketing plan and how to implement that, like, focusing on promotions, contests, events, social media, your sphere, all the fun things.
Now you do that, how long?
Well, so we meet, every 30 minutes, we have a slot, also, 4 30-minute slots a day.
Oh, every day?
Yeah, well, Tuesday, Friday, but yeah.
Well, no, the reason I ask is tomorrow and Thursday. My class.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and then, yeah, it'll be forever, every week, so like, you can do it anytime. So that next week, starting the week after. Yeah. Happy to.
And the other thing was hire them to dig deeper in.
Yeah, so we're happy to either guide you on how to do it, or, if you need leverage someone to do your postcards, flyers, we got you, but we're also happy to guide you on how to do it. Either one.
It's really nice. It's a big improvement. In the technology support.
Right.
Yeah. Before, it really always just lectures. Yeah. KT was good. Well, there's two of you.
Right.
And that
Definitely helps.
having that added layer of being able to pay you guys to
Right.
work for us.
Yeah, it gets a little overwhelming, all the marketing stuff on top of.
We just don't have that. We don't have time
Right.
to do it. It needs to be done.
Right.
Even, putting in those tasks, keeping up to date, all the stuff that you do
Right.
in command. Right? The closing girls, are you familiar with those guys?
Oh, is that Raven Baker and where are the ones?
Yes, two girls out there. That's not the right name. Maybe that's.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
they're
not
up for
familiar.
now, I think.
Okay,
And,
you like them?
they were very helpful. I only use them on one transaction, but I've got two now coming up. I'm gonna use them on, so.
Some like next quarter after we're going to partner up with close coordinators in our business as well.
Oh, good.
So yeah, if you have any feedback on certain closing coordinators, like
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, this came from David.
okay,
I've only used them once, but they were extremely.
right, there's so much to it.
Just in the other realtor was very good, but, they're just like, she had to be reminded 3 different times to send me a couple of documents. And I didn't have to do anything.
That's awesome. Definitely.
They actually tracked it, saw that it wasn't in, and sent me email.
Love it.
Yeah.
How much was that?
You get the check. Well, this was fun, guys. Thanks for the class.
Yeah, I wish that you guys could get better.
I know it. So,
Yeah, I was expecting a few more people.
yeah, well, before COVID, when I used to come and teach, there would be 80 to 100 people here every single time. And then COVID just, just encouraged people not to come to the office. It was, people were standing, bringing in chairs.
Yeah.
And then, because the values coming to the office is like the energy in here,
Right.
everything. Yeah, so I think it's a matter of getting people slowly back in the office, which we
Yeah.
have seen some increases, but I don't know.
And even the team meeting today was a lot smaller than normal. It was probably 2/3 of the people there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to think of some strategies. Yeah.
And
Oh,
spring
and
break.
spring break.
How many active agents?
Right.
Well, that's what you have. How many active?
8 to 10,000.
Yeah.
I thought it was 506.
Yeah, there's 506.
Right, but somebody said there's a difference between how many and actually how many active.
Well, if you just use Brady, it's 80, 20%, but there's 100 agents.
Right. And that's kind of the amount that you see like showing up. to
Right,
the
right.
meetings, like that same. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but the energy is always awesome in the office.
I mean, this is all new, so I'm just trying to get a focus. Because I hear things, what is it?
Right.
Somebody said, well, there's only so many active agents. But I looked at the website, it's like 500
Yeah,
some.
but there's 80% of them sell. Like your, mostly it's friends. So I just have, I sold 4 of my transactions with the guy that's a Vic. He's got his own real estate license and he's a Vic. And I still bought, sold 2 houses.
Okay.
You know, my client.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And he's doing something different now. And he's kept the license. He's still
Wow.
doing something different.
That's great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's got so much money.
Yeah, really. It's mine now.
So that,
And I know a lot of agents paying their license here just for to be on referral basis too. I'm not sure what that. But yeah, having your license somewhere to get referrals, Well,
you must. Yeah,
Or you.
yeah. You have to be, it's gotta be, you have to have a thing
Full, right,
yeah,
to even get referrals.
to get referrals. Yes.
So, yeah. Probably like a. Yeah, interesting stuff. Well, as you have questions, we're going to.
Okay, thank you so much.
Here for you. Yeah, absolutely.
That event, it's not at the brewery, at the Heist Brewery up in, Florida.
Bye.
Well,
All right.
It's the new one that's up by Camp North End.
Oh, okay.
They put a new.
Where is it?
Up at Camp North End.
Oh, okay.
They put I didn't realize that they had, if I had to look closely. Well, in fact, what I did is I had a calendar.
Uh-huh.
I said, where the hell is this thing going? Because it wasn't taking me to know that.
Right.
But it's some kind of an art gallery.
Cool.
There's still the brewery and the tap room, I think, and the restaurant, but it's the beer, it's not the brewery. That's an art thing. First time I've been.
And so are these networking events like everyone stands around, talks to each other and has drinks? Is it like food? I've never been to a networking event.
This will be, there'll be food, there'll probably be some snacks, I'm sure there'll be appetizers. And probably beer. But it is, yes, you're just standing around talking to each other. In this event. You've ever been to a networking event?
Like talking to people, so you're pushing us out of our comfort zone, and we're very excited.
Yeah, it's just a great.
I mean, I can't think of anyone I'd want to network before. I mean, so I see such value in that, to even
Right.
bounce ideas. I mean,
Right.
so thank you for inviting us. I'm really very excited about it.
But it's such a, you know, the other meetings are very informative. Lunches that they have. It's just a nice, it's more like a, you know, it's almost more like a chamber of commerce or not that. People are definitely hanging out. Talking to each other, but it's, you know, it's just relationship building,
Right.
not just network.
Right. Being able to pick people's brains,
Right.
hear what they're doing,
Right,
hear about their issues, their opportunities, and
right.
you know, what's going well. I mean, great fun value for us, yeah. Yeah. So next Thursday, right?
Next week.
Next Thursday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, great. Sounds like a plan. I got that going for me. It's a new computer and stuff. Oh, maybe you did. Well, like it was on, I'm confused.